We are live.
What up? What
We
up?
are
What up? What up?
live and barely alive, but we are live. Who's raising this generation? Us or the streets? That's the discussion tonight, Dubs.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have a topic, man. Gotta have a topic that's pretty prevalent with what's going on right now in this world,
Prevalent.
man.
Huh? It's got to be prevalent.
It's gotta be very prevalent. I'm using big words today.
Yeah. We're
Today's
doing
big word.
we're on a whole nother level.
We
What's
gotta
up,
use
Master Emilio,
prevalent
Nick,
words,
and the
prevalent
homie
times.
subs?
What's up,
Happy
everybody?
John
So
Wick.
what do you think, Dubs? What do you think? Do you think this generation's all fucked up? Why do you think it is? Why do you think, I seen some shit last night, man, blew my mind with the youth, right? I couldn't even stomach listening to it. I think you felt the same way. What do you think about this generation of kids compared to us back then, man? Where'd they go wrong?
How many people are in here, first of all? Because
41. We got 40.
yeah, I say we wait till we have 100. We just bullshit right now. When we hit 100, then we'll start. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we can wait. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because what winds up happening, a Sooners is a hater. Who raised my kids? Her mom and her grandparents.
Yeah.
Sooners always hating in the comments. I see them in the other channels hating.
Mm.
But yeah, I figure that way we don't have to repeat ourselves 4 times, 5 times. We'll just wait till we have 100. At least, that's a starting point.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? How's you guys' night going? It's another day. What's today? Thursday?
Yep.
There it is, man. Follow Dubs
Thank you, Zane.
on Twitch. Go look out, man. Didn't see him. Where is he? 818. What's up with you, man?
He's on one of my channels.
Yeah, he's on Dubs' channel. I'd have been bought them. You don't watch the other channels, can no? I'm a public.
I don't. I watch what people send me, like, hey, check this out. And then when I do that, I like to go into the comments, because I like to see who's two-faced. At least you came over here hating, so you do it everywhere. I give you that.
Consistency
is a plus. He's got a plus now.
Sour shoes. Standing with it. Lalo, what's up with it, man? Shout out to everyone that's in here. We appreciate you guys, man, tremendously. I don't know if you guys got the notifications or you just decided to pop in. Either way, man, thank you. Let's go.
We should have
should we do like the other channels? We're not gonna talk until we get $50, right?
Yeah, I've seen
that. Offers are crazy. Hey, send me fucking 3 galaxies right now before I even fucking lick my lips.
Yeah.
Remember that about the criminal used to do that? He used to go on TikTok. He used to be like, before I lick my lips, send me fucking 10 galaxies, and then I'll start licking my lips, and all the fucking scrubs will be sitting there sending money.
Emilio, no, it wasn't the hot Cheetos this time. It was it's these Skittles. They have chamoy and tajin all over them.
Making power moves in the shower shoes. Get on me close. It's all good, man. So the topic for the night, we wanted to give you guys an hour of or however long it takes, man. A topic. Who's raising the kids of this generation, man? Because they're pretty fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it us as parents, or is it the streets, or what is it? I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, I think it's the way it's always been, where kids run into some kind of trauma in the home, whatever it is, right? And there's certain kids, myself, I was one of them. We look outside of the house for acceptance and love, and for a lot of us, it's the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And when we were, no, you're not muted, Raider. When we were kids, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have social media, we only had what was in front of us, right? But a lot of us, not all of us, a lot of us still had homies that would still be like, hey, Holmes, I don't know if that's the right move. And I think with this generation, they have the clout chasing gene.
Social media.
Yeah, they have the clout chasing gene. And on top of that, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of dudes that are willing to say, hey, Holmes, that might not be the right move. Instead, they encourage them like, hey, oh, fuck, that's a good idea. Yeah, if you cut your hand off, people will go crazy. You get a gang of views. Like, fool, he's going to only have one hand after that, though. Yeah,
Yeah.
the views though. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
You know what I think, Dubs? And they don't look at, they only see what's today and not what's tomorrow. They
Mhm.
don't see the end, they don't see the end game nowadays. Back then, we already had the mentality, and like you said, man, most of us that we to fill a void in the home or just to be cool for whatever reason, we went out there to the streets, we went out to the neighborhoods, the barrios, whatever. Um, you did have those guys that would give you like they didn't want to see you fail. They wanted to see you succeed, even if it was in the streets or within the gang. They still wanted to see you succeed within that, right? So you got a little glitch, a little game. It wasn't all just do bad. This era nowadays, man, there is no big homies. This era nowadays, everybody is like peers. They all, or and if there are guys that are OGs, instead of helping and teaching, they're utilizing. That's how I feel, right?
Yeah.
And everybody is chasing, like I guess you can call it chasing the bag. Back in our days, we were chasing the bag. We are trying to get money, respect, and I guess the new word for that is clout. Everybody just cares about what other people think about them right now, and they're willing to do anything and everything. And like you said, cut your hand off, right? But you're not gonna have one tomorrow. They don't see tomorrow. They're only worried about now. And in this world we live in, you're not getting second chances like you were back in the days. Now it's one and done for the most part, unless the law changes. But I just think, as far as, and a lot of the times, and it even dates back to us, we come from single parent homes. A lot of us, not everybody, right? Either the father was in the streets or he was in and out of prison or doing his own thing, whatever, or the mother in some cases, right? And nowadays, a lot of these kids are coming from two-parent homes, but they're not even the influence of the parent. The parent is too busy working in the way the society is and the way that the everything is going. Everything's expensive. The economy, the way it is, the parents are too busy, man, fucking just trying to maintain a household, right? And the kids are being babysat by the internet, and the internet is just driving them mad. It's programming our
here. I don't see it, at least not in my family, but you see, and real quick, ask them, no, you're on a different channel, big dog. When you get a wrench, it's only for that channel. You're probably on Dub S World right now. But you see some parents are so overwhelmed that they have a 2-year-old and they hand them a tablet. Yeah, they hand them a phone and they put it on YouTube for them or whatever it is. And these kids, man, by the time they're 3 years old, they know how to work the phones and the tablets better than us.
You ain't lying, man.
But they're dealing with, cartoons were like an alternate universe, of course, but they were not like programming. These kids, I think even if you put parental controls, they get hip to that shit. But there's so much stuff on the internet now that these kids can see at a young age,
Yeah. It's and a lot of the cartoons and the things that I'm seeing nowadays, they're programming the kids. They're different, man. These kids are aware of a lot more. It's just at their fingertips to, and it's crazy, man. So when it comes to as far as the streets raising your kids, a lot of the kids want to be street, but don't know how to be street. See, we lived in them streets, so we developed a callous to the streets. You know what I mean? Like you got seasoned, you knew what time it was, you knew which streets to go down, which weren't. You started to be gaining a little respect, started to gain a little bit knowing, awareness. And there was like hands-on training out there. You had to win some, lose some, fight, whatever. These kids now, they see it on the internet, even with like these hood vlogs. Oh, look at the neighborhoods. A lot of them haven't even been subject to that type of lifestyle. But in their mind, they start playing the role they think they are. And then, man, they get into some real shit out there. There's real life stuff going on and they're not prepared. They're ill prepared.
Yeah, there's that. But there's also, I know a lot of us growing up, we like in my neighborhood, that's where all the heroin was in my city, right? Everybody went to the west side to get heroin. But there were a lot of us that, no, this is not pre-recorded. There were a lot of us that didn't want to mess with that, right? Yeah. And when the music we listened to, it was more gangbanging stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? And nowadays you have rappers that are on drugs, rapping about doing drugs.
Yes.
So that's what these kids think is the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the
influences are just different, Holmes. It's different.
Yeah, I can't stand this music nowadays, man. My daughter likes to, put it on, and I'm like, wow. As a parent, I feel like, man, I got to regulate it because every rap song up in the pole, my ops, kill my ops, fucking doing Molly, doing drug, all this stuff. And I'm like, damn, these kids, and a lot of them, they're really, really out there doing that. They're promoting that. Like, if you don't do that, you are a nobody.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? Whereas in our era, and I could say this is the truth, right? In every era, different, if the 70s, 80s, every era is different. Every era is going to say their era was better than everyone else. But in the 90s, 80s, late 80s, 90s, I think we knew NWA wasn't really doing that shit. We knew DJ Khaled wasn't really doing that shit. It was gangster music, cool. It sounded cool. The beat was cool, but we knew he wasn't out there killing no one because you weren't locked up. We weren't stupid enough to. But these guys are really doing it, right? And it's making the kids believe that they have to literally go out there and do that, or they're a nobody, man. And it's very unfortunate.
And that's why you're seeing so many deaths, so many overdoses and deaths. And you got this. They're mixing that fent and everything, almost everything. And so it's just a different time. Like, every era has that thing about it. And this era, I don't know, Holmes. I don't know. You know how, like, they say, like, movies get you ready for what's coming?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fucking internet is getting these people. A lot of people don't socially, they're awkward now because they were raised by the internet. Like, imagine 20 years from now how people are gonna fucking like converse with each other.
Interaction. They don't know how to be social.
A lot of people don't even know how to spell anymore because they use all these emojis, and then they instead of spelling the whole word, they cut it in and go like, oh, okay, that's what he means.
You remember back in the days, anyone that you associated with, hello, hey, what's up, doc? Anyone you associated with or was your family, you knew their phone numbers by heart. Nowadays, you don't even know your own phone number by heart. It's a trip, right? It's because, it's technology, and it does help in certain things in life. Your technology does, but man, a lot of the things when it comes to the kids, it's set them back because, like you said, socially awkward. It's making a lot of kids socially awkward, and they truly believe, oh man, that's cool. It's and it's crazy too, because what the internet is doing, what this world is doing to the children, is programming them in a way. Like, back in our days, we knew gang banging was taboo and it was bad. We still did it for whatever reason we did it for. They're making it like popularized, mainstream, and cool. Look, let's just take, for instance, Serena Williams, very, very gifted athlete coming from poverty, Compton, right? That's very well known, poverty, all that. And she made something, she's inspirational to a lot of young black girls that said, hey, or any girls, man, I could do it just like her. I could, get that high up and be a professional tennis player. The other day, now she's sea walking and now that's what they see. They don't care about all the achievements she did. All that is overshadowed by her sea walking. They're making, they're focusing and pinpointing on the worst shit they could. And the kids are all soaking it in, and it's making them bad. And it's making them not even able to interact with their parents. Because as parents, a lot of us don't even know what the fuck they're watching or what's going on. You're too busy trying to pay the rent. You can't fucking see, can't see everything. Shit. Mm-hmm. It's all bad. I don't know. I think the streets raised us. I think the internet's raising the kids now. That's what I think. And the parents are just there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. If there's any young parents, that have, younger kids, you guys can say something in the comments as well. Because I don't know. I unfortunately never got a chance to raise my child because of poor decisions that I made as a youngster. But I just know how I was raised. I was born into a very, very violent home. And I took to the streets and I did whatever I wanted, when I wanted, and I paid a price for it, But even then, like I as a lot of us know from my stories, from other people that did time with me, I never, my neighborhood was full of heroin. I never did heroin in my life, I never really, drugs and alcohol were never really my thing. It was something, if I did drink or I did do some coke or something, it was with the homies because that's what we were doing. My thing was just the chilling with the homies, getting into shit that, fulfilled me. Nowadays, I don't know what fulfills these kids other than clout. Clout is a drug.
And the next trend, they all want to do whatever anyone, this is perfect example. I see kids, and my daughters were into this, and even some kids are still now into this. They'd rather sit there on fucking YouTube and watch other kids open up toys than open their own toys. It's
well, not only that,
to that shit.
Not only that, we talked about with your daughter, and then like one of my homeboys that I kick it with, he has a daughter around your daughter's age, and like we'll barbecue and we'll have, you know, tell her, hey, invite your friends or whatever, and they want to, like, instead of hanging out at the pool, they all want to eat whatever the trend is on TikTok.
Yes.
And they're gonna they all have their phones in front of them because they're all little kids, but they all have their own phone, and they're recording the hottest fucking sopa they can make.
Yeah, you're in line with the most cheese and milk.
We would when we were kids, we all remember this. When we were kids, we were playing tackle football in the fucking street.
Yeah.
And then somebody got to yell because the car's coming. Everybody gets out of the way. As soon as the car goes by, everybody's back. I'm literally playing tackle football in the street, tackling people into parked cars. Nowadays, kids, they're not going to run around outside. They're going to play Call of Duty. They're going to play, you know, a computer game, but they're out of shape. You know,
you got to say this one quietly. They're going to play Fortnite, right? Look, hey, Fortnite, they're on their shit. Look, here's the thing too. At first, when I looked around, I you know, one day I just looked around. I said, "Damn, where's all the kids riding bikes on the streets and shit like that? Like we used to till the fucking lights went out, right? Then we had to get home. That's how it was in my neighborhood, right? Or that was my mom's rule. When that light goes on, motherfucker, you better be in here even before." So I'm looking around, and at first I thought, well, shit, we live in a crazy world. People don't want their kids out there. It's dangerous. People getting trafficked and snatched and all that, right? And then it's not that. And in some cases, maybe it is that, depending upon your neighborhood. But it ain't that. It's these fucking kids don't want to get off that computer or that internet. They want to be on that shit all day, man. And everything that's out there, they're seeing, and it's computing in their mind. But a lot of these things, they're just seeing them real quick, like in shorts or whatever. They don't really know about that, though. They just know what they see. That's like these guys that have never been involved in gangs, but they want to dress like it. They're not even from a border neighborhood. And I have a homeboy, man. He lives in San Jose. He has a son. He allows his son only to wear certain things and certain colors. And his son's like, but I want to wear this. This is what they're wearing. He's like, nah, you see that shit looks cool, but where we live, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You're going to get fucked off. And so he, you know, his son's good. He listens, but some kids don't. You know what? You know damn well how it was, Dubs. Yeah. We'll tell the parents, right? And then as soon as we go to school, I had fucking a change of clothes ready. You know what I mean? But nowadays, these kids are they're just different, and it's actually killing our next generation. They're dying young, and they're killing young, and I don't know if there's any way to fight it.
You know what? One of the and this you know, it's controversial nowadays. It was not before when we were growing up. You know what? One of the main things that is not allowed anymore that I think really made kids soft and it became a huge problem. You know what it was? Kids not getting their fucking asses whooped.
You ain't lying.
You don't have to abuse a child, but the fact that you can't discipline your child. Man, I remember getting my ass whooped in a store. Like if I try to steal something at the store, I got my ass whooped on the spot. And people didn't look like, oh, fuck. That's the way it was back then. Nowadays, if you even raise your hand, there's going to be 50 fucking people pulling out their phones, recording. They're going to record that shit. They're calling the cops. And the kids are going to grow up soft as hell with a lot of issues. I don't know, Holmes. You know, I think it's unfortunate. You know, of course, never beat a child, but discipline. I mean, hey, Holmes, that made people understand there was a like
that was good. I never did that again. You know what I mean?
Thank you,
Ali. So I was listening to a video last night, right? And I don't want to say kids, they have a father and they are his kids. Like you say, your daughter's 30. I have a 26, 27-year-old daughter. So they're always going to be our kids. They're our kids, you know? You have your kids, I have my kids. But they may be adults to some. And I was raised, man, if I talked out the side of my mouth or disrespected my parents, my whole fucking mouth was getting busted open, right? Period. Call it what you want, right? That's just how it was back then. And you knew better not to even go there, you know, especially in a Mexican household, you don't talk shit back to moms. The chancla was real. The broom was realer, right? And straight the fist when I got older. She would knock me out. And and I see some young disrespecting their father for whatever reason. Thank you, Lali, right? And I couldn't even stomach listening to it, Dubs, because, and I know the excuse, man. I talked to someone, the excuse was, well, you know, if people are raised in a one-parent home or they're raised out in the streets or they're trying to, what I seen from my observation in this, and what I was listening to, was someone crying out for help, someone that wants to be from somewhere so bad or trying to impress the same person they're mad at. They're upset for something and they're crying out for help. That's what I heard and seen. It's just the way I took it, right? Mm-hmm. All that, I don't believe in all that. Hey, it's all about where you're from and how you grow up. That no, I've had cousins. Like I said, I had a cousin that grew up right next to me in the Vadu, in the neighborhood. Guess what? I'm an ex-convict. He's a doctor. It's all about choices. Everyone has the, you know, hey, you go left, they go right. It's all about choices. Thank you, Juan P. We appreciate that, bro.
There's a dude that I grew up with. I didn't like him. We're from the same neighborhood. I did not like him at all. Mm-hmm. And he was running around in the neighborhood. He was dabbling with heroin and shit at one point. And his brother, same household, his brother was a cop, became a cop. You know, I remember there was certain homies in my neighborhood where they would tell the rest of us, hey, Holmes, if my fucking little brother comes around, whoop his ass, chase him out of here, tell him to take his ass home. And we would, Holmes, they would come by and we would be like, hey, Holmes, take your ass home before we got to light you up. Your brother's going to be here in a minute. You know, and those are the kids that they grew up around us. They knew, you know, who was who, but they were good kids, you know?
Yeah. And again, to me, I just, even though I think this generation, like I said, they're different. We don't quite understand them. It's up to us as parents or as people in the society to recognize it, figure out what's going on, and try to help. Now, you can't parent anyone else's kids. You can't tell anyone else how to be a parent. Mm-hmm. But I'm the type, man, if I see some kids out there fucking up or bullying or something, I'll say something like, hey, what are you doing, man? Show some respect, have some respect, I know you're going to have some pride, man. You know what I mean? Why you got to jump on, dude? Shut the fuck up, old head. Okay, all right. Who's your dad so I can whip his ass, right? That's my mentality. But there are some kids that will listen. They'll be like, that's right. Yeah, you know, there are some respectful. It's like I said, it's all on individual basis, but I think as society as a whole, man, a lot of parents, because of whatever distractions or situations, they've lost touch with their children, man. And children are not recognizing the parents as their parent. They're starting to think that they're their homeboys or homegirls. That's the thing I hate the most is people that treat their kids like their friends. Your kid is not your fucking friend. Mm-hmm. You know, once a kid thinks that, you can't never change that. You know?
I told my daughter, you know, again with me because I was busted until she was 24. But I would always write her and remind her, I'm your dad. Like, I can never be your friend. I'm your dad. And I told her, like, if friends come and go, like, as you grow, you're gonna have friends in kindergarten that when you're in second grade, you guys do not talk at all, but you didn't have an argument, you didn't have a falling out. It's just you separated. Because that's what happens with friends, they come and go. So I told my daughter, I'll never be your friend because I'm always gonna be there for you, however I can be, you know.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in here that just made a comment that we failed our kids. My kid is great, man.
Yeah. How did I fail my kid? My kid has a great job, works. My other kids right now in the room doing their thing. I got my other kid. She's having a good, like, we didn't fail. You know, the people that contribute to the failure of society are the ones that would even question what we done. You know, shit happens. We're living life just like everyone else. There's got to be good guys and there's got to be bad guys. And there's a lot of bad guys that turn good. Mm-hmm. You know, what other channels are having these topics of conversation to try to influence change or to open a discussion for change? Not a lot, man. You know, a lot of people are too busy with trying to fucking run someone through the mud or talk shit about people and cause drama. You know,
and you guys can also leave topic ideas because we want to start doing not just music every live. You know, we want to at least do a half hour of something, you know, that makes people think, makes people interact. Maybe an hour. It depends on how things are going, and then we'll go into a second half where we start over and we play some music and have fun and stuff. But I think this is necessary, and we both have a unique perspective because of the lifestyle that we had, that we lived, and then you guys as well, because there's people from all different walks of life that are in our chat. So we appreciate that.
And I wanted to touch on it one more time. One more thing I wanted to speak on about as far as what whoever said, man, what about how'd your kid? Here's the thing right here. I think myself, I'm not going to speak for Don, speak for myself. I know I wasn't, when the first go around, I have 4 daughters. I wasn't the best father I could be, right? Mm-hmm. But I hold myself accountable for that. And each time that I had a child, man, I tried to do something different. I tried to be more of an influence, more in their lives. And I think I got it down, right? I think I got it down. For me to even be discussing a topic like that, I think I figured it out. But man, we were all young once. We were in the game. You know, these guys that talk that shit are the same guys that, are you active? A father? I'm an active father, right? Fuck. I mean, what do you want me to be, a gangbanger or a father? What? I can't be both. Don't be mad at me for not being one or the other. I think I've made the right choice, right? And that doesn't mean if you're in a gang, you can't be a good father, because my dad was out there doing what he did, and I would consider him, he tried when he was around, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not woofing on anyone who's still in the mix. I'm just saying there is a decision to be made. And if you care for your children, what type of influence are you going to be? Mm-hmm. You know, because they are going to start asking questions as they get older. Why do you have tattoos? Where were you this time? Where do you go at night? Why you got a gun? Right? Believe me. And what are you going to tell them? You know, that's going to make them better than you. I think each parent should strive for the betterment of their child, meaning their child. They want their child to be better. I think I don't give a fuck how super gang banged out. You want your child to have more than you did and be better than you. Most people do.
Every parent should want that.
Every parent should want that, and there's a lot they do, but they're not going to get that if you're not showing them how to. Someone's got to show them how to do it. Mm-hmm. Don't depend on the teachers. Teachers nowadays ain't worth shit, you know?
And, you know, I've mentioned it here before, and I'll mention it again for those that missed it. I told my daughter that because I was incarcerated, she had a better life than had I stayed out, you know, because my daughter wasn't allowed to go to any of the schools in our neighborhood. They sent her to Catholic school. My daughter was one of the best golfers in the state for years. She would have never golfed if I was around. Mm. You know, she would have went to the West Side schools. She would have saw, you know, we would have had barbecues. She would have saw the homies and all that stuff. You know, would she be different? I don't know. But if you meet my daughter, she has the exact same personality as me. It's crazy, man. She's a very, 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 I'm very proud of her. Very beautiful young woman, and she was raised right. And had I been in her life, she would have had a different life. So, you know, I recognized that, and I told her, hey, but she didn't. She was like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, we don't know that. I know that. I know she wouldn't have experienced the things she did had I been a part of her life growing up.
And here's the thing too, Doug. Isn't it great to sit back and see all the good traits in your kid? You know what I mean? That you have it. That's why you're so similar, but they got the good. And it makes you proud. Like, man, I'm glad that they're good, you know, and not like the shit that I did. And it wasn't that our parents were making wrong decisions or doing the wrong thing. It's just the choices you made. You just made that. I'm sure your parents, you know, everyone's different. Everyone's different. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know, because I wasn't there. But I know with my mom, she was like, don't hang around them. Don't be out there. And then it came to a point where my mom used to always say, hey, you're hanging around with the wrong crowd. And then I told her one day, you know, I am the wrong crowd. You know what I mean? They're hanging around with me. I was influencing and fucking with people and doing that. And when I realized that, I knew I was doing bad, but it was already too late. I was caught up in only worried about what I cared about and not how it was affecting my family or anything, you know? And so, you know, now it's like, man, I don't want to get put through the bullshit of worrying about where my kid's at. So I'm on them. And I think being on them and in their life and giving them a program and being structured and all up in the mix, man, you know, your kid's going to appreciate it one day. And
yeah. Let me read this real quick. I always respond to these because I find it funny. So Daniel Sandoval says, why don't you guys just start serving the Lord 100%? What makes you think that we don't? We serve it in our way. Don't try to make us do things your way. You have your relationship with the Lord. I have mine. Gunnar has his. Don't be like the Pharisees and judge my relationship with God. That's what the Pharisees did, right? Don't be one of them. Worry about your relationship, and it should be private. But to insinuate that we don't is not cool, especially if you say you're with the Lord.
Anyone who's out there, you know, trying to bring people to the Lord, there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. And by judging people, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is to show embracement, man. You know, we're going to show you love for no matter who you are or how you come. Go ahead, Doug.
I always tell people I am a Christian. I am not the Christian you want me to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Christian.
No, I agree. You know, God says come as you are, right? So, you know, don't think because we don't wear a suit and we're not fucking in church every Sunday that we don't have a relationship with God. We're just doing it our way. And some of the most devout religious people I met don't go to church every Sunday. But like God said, anywhere you're gathered is a church. You know, their church is their home. They have their relationship. They pray. And we're still around. So God must be with us for a reason. Because people like myself and Dubs should not be around. You understand? People like us have been faced with adversity, situations we put ourselves in. And the prison, I mean, Dubs did 24 years straight in prison. You know how fucking hard it is to do 24 years straight in prison and make it out? As much tragedy and craziness you've seen, that's hard. You know, it's a dangerous situation. Hey, what's up, Rascal?
What's up, John?
And this is a great discussion. I know Rascal could agree, being a father himself and raising his children in his home. You know, it's just a situation, Rascal. We're talking about the topic is who's raising this generation, us or the streets? And I think we could pretty much agree a lot of this generation is influenced by the internet. And I think the internet is taking over. Where in our generation, it was the streets. It was parents or the streets or a little bit of both. Nowadays, it ain't the streets because there ain't no one out there on the streets. They're too busy stuck in their fucking rooms playing Fortnite or looking at TikTok. That's just how I feel. And being influenced by, you know, the music. I think music has a big impact too. Very big impact. This hip hop, it has a very big impact. You know, now all these kids, I'm a blood. Why? Because Lil Wayne's a blood, or because this, you know, we never, back in the days, that was like, you didn't even speak on that. You were what you were from whatever neighborhood you were from. Different now.
Is that a Cadillac symbol on your neck? You wonder what type of message that sends?
I don't know.
That's the artwork he put on his body.
Yeah, like, that I like Cadillacs. I don't know, bro. That, you know, I'm a luxurious motherfucker. I don't know. I like luxury. Hell, you know, at the end of the day, bro, I see where you're coming from, but I don't know what you mean. You know, there's a lot of people though that are influenced by whatever. Myself, I was searching for a reasoning to be cool. That's all it was. It started off with, oh man, I think them guys are cool. I want to be cool. If I thought the guys that were going to school and everything were cool, I would have been that. But I thought, you know what? These guys just look cool. It wasn't the money, the jewelry, the women, like people say. I just thought that their mannerisms, the way they carried themselves with, you know, because back in our days, the gang members had respect and they dressed sharp and clean. And I liked that. That influenced me. That's what I thought my people were. And as I started to get involved, I realized that wasn't the case, but I wasn't one of those guys. I heard it saying today, you either got 1 foot in the, what I say, one foot on the battlefield or 1 foot in the garden, right? No, I had both feet in the battlefield. Like if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go. And as time carried on, I think we both realized, Dubs, you know, hey, it wasn't what we thought it was, and everything was cracked up to be what it was. And then as you get older, it's like your spidey senses go off. You start to realize like, hey, there's other shit going on here, you know? Hey, Richard, how about you get on up out of here because you just
I've had people whacked for those charges. The fuck would I ever sympathize with that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Homie Hanga said, yeah, and the internet is the default today that the streets were for us. We went outside, they get online. I agree. You know, you don't see kids out there on the street. Like we got out there on the streets, so we were raised by the streets. Whatever was going on out there is what influenced us. And whatever's going on online is what's influencing them. Unfortunately, a lot of the shit that going on online, you're made aware of a lot more. We only knew what was going on in that immediate neighborhood.
Absolutely.
They're seeing the world. You know?
That's why I've said I don't understand. I mean, I do. I always say I don't, but I got to check myself immediately. It just frustrates me that kids nowadays, with just this phone in their hand can see the entire world and see that it's not just the homies out there on the block. You know what I mean? It's so much bigger than that. You know, I told the story before when I was in New Folsom. I had just started doing my time. My road dog, after I caught my case, he enlisted in the military, and he wanted to be a Marine, but he had an injury to his back and his knee. So they sent him off to the Navy, and he wrote me and he told me about all the places. Gracias, security. He wrote me about all these places he had seen all over the world, and the world is bigger than the neighborhood, and this and this and that. And I remember that fucking letter pissed me. I was so bitter at that time, still so full of anger, that it pissed me off that this dude was that. I was like, how is this dude that happy? What is he talking about? All this shit. I said, this ain't my homeboy. I ripped up his return address, everything, flushed it, and I was like, I'm done with him. I don't even know who this cat is.
And a lot of that was pride. A lot of that was like pride in our just all we cared about was what was in front of us.
It was fucking ignorance. I didn't know anything but the neighborhood by choice. By choice. You know what I mean? And to me, it was like, fool, I'm doing all day for the neighborhood. I didn't hesitate to kill for the neighborhood. You know, I'm in here, I'm doing whatever I'm doing in here, and you got the audacity to tell me about this world I don't know nothing about. You know what I mean? And that's terrible. He was trying to be a good homeboy, but in my bitterness, I was like, I don't even know who this dude is.
And then like and this is what and me and Dubs talked a lot of times, and I'm like, bro, we should go over here and we should go over there. I've been to a lot of different states. I've experienced a lot since I've been out because all by choice. Like I wanted to see the world. And Dubs, you've never been like out of the country, or I mean, you've been to Mexico, but you have never been like to other places. And man, the experience to see the world and see that there's different things. I mean, we're all human. We're all got red blood and all that, but just there's different areas, different. I mean, myself, man, you know, coming from a straight vaudeville, gang banging, spray paint, shoot 'em up. One of my favorite things to do is go in the middle of nowhere and go fishing, whether I catch something or not. But that's what I didn't realize that when I was little, we used to all the hood, drink, fish, stupid shit. But then I was like, no, I really enjoy this. Peaceful, peace, serenity. I like it, right? Just to disappear for a few days and just do my thing. And you know, you don't start to realize that until you get older, or I think, you know, you just start making those different choices. But your homeboy was trying to tell you there's a bigger world, but you were like, nah, your ego was like, nah, bro, I'm from the hood. I'm doing things for the hood. What the fuck are you doing? Do you think there was a lot of bitterness too, Dubs? Maybe like, why am I in here and no one and motherfuckers are out there just kicking it? Did you ever get bitter?
No,
I did.
No, I never. No, I knew what I did, and I knew I was doing the time I earned. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't that. It was I didn't understand. That's not who I knew in my life.
Yeah.
This is somebody we did dirt together and didn't even hesitate. Now you're talking about some square shit. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, you just weren't at that time. Did you still have the eyes of death, the black eyes, the fucking?
No, those got worse.
They got worse. It was in the beginning.
Yeah, because as I got involved in more shit, you know, when you get involved in certain, we're not going to talk about that topic, but when you start getting involved in shit where the decision usually is fuck him, kill him, you know, then you start not caring about. You start not caring about who you're talking about. They are no longer a human being. They're just a part of the puzzle, and that part doesn't fit.
It becomes an obstacle.
That part doesn't fit anymore in this puzzle, and so it can go. That's
or if it becomes a speed bump, just roll over it. You know, homie, hang out. I agree. He says, Warren, it seems the ones most familiar with the internet are most cautious with their kids in the web. Absolutely. Yeah. When you start to realize the dangers and the realities of the internet and how fucking, man, it's just, it's a tool that's utilized to destroy a lot of people, right? Or create chaos, right? Then that makes you tell you that's, you know, because before I did my daughter be on the internet, whatever, right? Before I was a content creator, as soon as I became a content creator and started to realize the dangers and how people act, I'm like, wow, I don't want my kid to get trolled, or I don't want my kid to be confused or, you know, enlightened to things that I don't want them to be enlightened to, things like that. Right. And so it's like you become a little bit more cautious with your kids, and it's crazy because as a content creator, I'm anti-internet. it's just fucking this way I am. That's why I don't have no other social medias but YouTube. It's a trip, man.
Yeah, Goose. He was actually, you know, we got back in contact, and I actually had him doing a lot. When I was doing bad things, you know, in prison, I had him move closer to the prison that I was at, and take care of a lot of stuff on the streets for me. You know, he needed some work, and I gave it to him.
Mm, yeah. All I know is, man, me and Dubs thought this would be a great topic to bring up because it's something that's not really spoken on too much. And there's parents out there, single parents, men or women, that are like, man, my kids are out of control. How do I reel them in? Unfortunately, man, that's a hard question to answer. But before you can answer a question, you gotta realize why. You know, that's what I've always did. Before I could answer a question, I gotta realize the question itself, and then why. You know, let me start looking at different what the details of this question, why people are even asking this, you know, and see if I can answer it, because we can't answer everything, but we can do our part to at least get a conversation started and to influence people to pay attention to what's going on with your kids, man, because this internet, the music, the Super Bowl halftime shows, everything's influencing them, and they're seeing it all. Now you got all kids on thinking they're Serena fucking crip walking.
Yeah, but nowadays it's like, for myself, I've said it, and you know, I don't even watch TV. I don't watch movies. People ask me, "Did you watch it?" I don't watch stuff because I feel like nowadays, I think, well, we're not gonna get into the whole thing, but Hollywood was created for propaganda. That's the entire purpose of Hollywood and movies and films. But back in the days, the programming through Hollywood was in order to accept certain things, you know, to where now it's so crazy the way it is and how slanted it is and how blatant it is, that's why I don't watch TV anymore. Like, I'll watch stuff on YouTube, or if somebody tells me, hey, they'll send me something, okay, check this out, boom, and all right. And then when I know, like, okay, this Vato, when he sends me stuff, it's something that's enlightening, and it's not something that's biased, then I'm like, okay, I'll click on this guy's stuff more whenever they DM me or whatever. But yeah, it's very unfortunate, man, that the amount of programming that goes on, and I'm hoping that we can get back in the center. You know what I mean? Where it's not trying to convince people to hate people subliminally. I don't know. I don't want to get into that whole thing, but I've never seen it. He's like, I don't watch TV, homie. That's sad shit.
You know, I always tell Dubs, hey, you gotta watch this show, you gotta watch that show, and he's like, he just doesn't watch it. You know what I mean? But and he's giving you his reasoning why. You know,
and look, this Super Bowl, I watched this whole Super Bowl. It's the first Super Bowl I watched the whole thing since I've been out, almost 8 years. I just don't watch TV. I don't watch movies. You know, I haven't been to a movie theater. I'll take this back. Look, I haven't watched the entire movie in a movie theater since 1989. Fig and I went to the movies a couple years ago. We went in, we sat down. Fig's phone rang. It was on silent. He picked it up and looked at it, and a dude threw a napkin, and it hit Fig's son in the head, and we damn near it almost went down in the movie theater. So I haven't gone back. I haven't gone back. You know, but yeah, the last time I've actually been in a movie theater righteously and watched the whole movie was 1989.
Yeah. And there's people that don't even, I have a cousin, man, my same cousin, the one that's a doctor, he doesn't even own a TV. He doesn't want one, you know, and it's just his thing. You know, he lives prehistoric. That Walter's different. But, you know, the fact of the matter is, getting back to the topic, you know, people that have asked questions, man, I can't control my kids. First of all, that word control, you don't need to control anything or anyone. You need to help them to realize the errors and some of the things that they're doing. And it has to be in moderation, I believe. You know, you can't just fucking take the kid's phone after you've let them have it for fucking 2 years, because they're going to be like, what am I doing wrong? You let me have it, right? But you got to start do it in moderation. Like, hey, you can only have it an hour or 2 hours a day. Another question I want to ask you, Dubs. Do you think video gaming is influence? I seen people, oh man, this kid's fucking, they're going crazy because of the games they're playing. I don't think that video game. I mean, I do hear a lot of badass kids on there, though, cussing and doing crazy shit, talking shit.
Yeah, somebody asked, hold on, Sour Shoes, what movie did I watch in 1989? Harlem Nights.
That's a good one too.
I
Shout out
went to the movies.
to
Check this out. I went to the movies. I watched Harlem Nights. I left the movies, right? My homeboys picked me up. They happened to be driving by in a truck. They picked me up. I got busted that night and went to YA.
The night of Harlem Nights.
The night of Harlem Nights. I got busted. I did the homie, and I think it was Carlos, said 5 years. No, I did 3 years, and I think it was 3 years and 3 months, 3 years and 2 months, something like that. Got out for 5 months, then I did 24 years in like 2 weeks. But yeah, no, I watched Harlem Nights and then walked outside, jumped in the truck with the homies. We went to a party, and then shit went all bad, and I fucking woke up with alcohol poisoning 3 days later in juvenile hall, stitches in my chin where the Judas tried to kill me, my hand busted up, my knee. Yeah, it was 15-year-old kid.
It's a crazy when you think back. My first day out of YA, my very first day, I got out 3 days before I was supposed to. The homeboys had like a little thing planned, so they were like, "Fuck it, let's all go to the drive-in." We went like 3 carloads deep to the drive-in, series drive-in. They have at the old school, you know, with the big old screens, and it was a double feature. It was the movie Eraser and Independence Day had just come out. Eraser with Arnold and Independence Day with Will Smith.
I've seen
and
that.
I was too busy boning my first chick in the backseat of the car, so I don't quite remember the movie. And to this day, I've never watched those movies fully, but that was what was playing. I remember that for, you know, it's just a trip, how the things that you remember or that you take in. But back to it with these kids nowadays, man, you know, I'm seeing it's a lot more serious. You know, like we talk about the Edgar situation, right? Which, of course, that was influenced by the internet. People getting these haircuts, and I don't know, kids thought it was cool, and then it just became a phenomenon everywhere, right? Where did that originate, Dubs? That haircut? It looks like an old Mayan haircut, to tell you the truth. Is it?
It originated on some other planet, Holmes, and somehow they found a hieroglyph or some shit. I don't know what the fuck that shit. Hey, but something I want to tell you guys, because this is weird, right? I just remembered.
Yeah.
And so when I went to that movie theater in 1989, right? I went with my daughter's mom, right? And
yeah.
I always want to sit at the very, very back of the theater. I didn't want people behind me. And we sat there, right? Trip out on this, you guys. We sat there, and it was a dude came in from our worst enemies, right? My neighborhood's worst enemies. He knew my lady at the time. He knew her, right? They were friendly from school and shit, whatever. And him and his lady came up, and he sat like 2 rows down from me and across, right? And he said hi to my lady, right? And I wanted to smoke him because I was an idiot. No, check this out. I wanted to smoke him. I was like, who the fuck is this bottle getting at saying hi to her in front of me? Like, fuck that dude. And she grabbed my hand. I reached for something, and she grabbed my hand, right? She was like, "Oh, he's not being fucked up. You know, just leave him." Do you know, this is crazy, you guys. The night I caught my murder, he's the one I was actually trying to kill that night. Same exact dude.
That's crazy, huh?
He got away. He's the one I was actually after that night. And when I was chasing them all down, he made a turn that I didn't see. He went around the house. But it's crazy that the same dude. Anyway, yeah.
It's crazy how the world, like I said, man, I've experienced some situations where I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be here, and it's amazing how I am, right? I've been in situations where I was like, it's over. They got me. This is how it ends. And I was able to wiggle, right? And but it's for a reason. And people tell me that, man, well, you're here for a reason. Maybe it's this YouTube stuff. I don't think so, man. I think I'm here because my kids need a parent. They need stability. They need someone to provide. And so that's why I put my all into that. That's my main focus. My main focus is not YouTube. But if I could do some positivity and help people and spark a conversation, shit, I did my little piece of the puzzle. Hey, I took away from that puzzle several pieces. I'll say that when I was in the mix. And now I'm adding in my own way pieces to my own puzzle, man. And it's coming together nicely. You know, I've achieved a lot. And no matter what people say, they can't take that from me.
Bull breeder. This is a side thing, but I want to answer this. And homie, hang out, Josh. You probably know the answer to this too. Bull breeder says, in the footage of the hunger strike, on PBS, out of the 4, why was the white individual speaking for everybody? Was he influenced over the others? In other words, was he feared in there? They were all equal, first of all. And second of all, he had personally filed a lot of litigation against the CDC. So he was more of a mouthpiece because he was more of a legal beagle. But as far as fear, no one in those 4 was above another. That's why those 4 were alongside of each other.
What a lot of people don't realize is none of that could have happened without them 4 agreeing to make it happen in 4 groups. I mean, groups could have did it on their own, but it had more of an impact because it was the first time the CDC ever seen.
They wouldn't have been able to do it on their own. They wouldn't.
Yeah, well,
that was because it needed all 4 organizations to say yes. Well, if one organization would have said no, like what had happened in 2000, I'm not going to say which organization. That too, Josh. If one would have said no, then the CDC would have said no. There can't be any peace if that organization is saying no. The other 3, yeah, but you still have them. So
yeah, because everyone has to get the same. It's got to be social status of equality. Everyone has to be on the same page,
and that's enough for that.
Exactly.
We don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that. Back to the kids, right, and back to being a good parent. No, but there's a lot of things that are going on in this world, and I think, man, to be a good parent and to be aware is to pay attention. Pay attention, man, to what's going on. People that just, like me, man, I was checking in my daughter. What are you doing? I'm on the phone, Dad. I need to see what's going on here because there's too much weird shit going on out there. There's too much influence, man. And the only one that should be influencing anything in this fucking house is me. I pay the bills, right? But they'll appreciate that in the future. And even if they don't, man, it makes me sleep better and feel better at night. And that's all that matters, and at the end, really. And so I think people, it's great conversation to talk about things like this. And YouTube shouldn't be utilized. I've seen lately, man, and there's a lot of people even in these comments that keep asking about certain things, man. And I think me and Dubs made a video today and we said that we spoke on it. That's it. That's where we stand. That's what it is, man.
And there was someone in here that said that him as a father of, I think he said 2 daughters. I don't know, that he felt disappointed by what we had to say. Well, between Gunnar and I, we have 4 daughters.
Yes, 5. I have 4. You have 1.
No, yeah, I thought you only, okay. So there's 5 daughters amongst the 2 of us, so I don't know. I don't know what people expect, homie, but we both said what we were comfortable with. We weren't there. We're not taking sides. We're not condoning anything at all.
I said it, man. I said it's not good at all. But I'm not going to talk shit about a person or do that because you want me to. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that's it. And the comparisons to other people. Well, what about this guy SPM or what about, man? Hey, that was a 9-year-old kid, man. And either way, nothing's good. But I don't give a fuck, man. I'm going to say what I want to say when I want to say it. And that's just it. And it's still new. I don't know the facts. I don't know everything, man. So I'm just not gonna speak on that, man. Not the one. Garcia, what's happening, brother? Doesn't mean a motherfucker is condoning anything. I mean, come on, man. Your mind is made up anyways, bro. Yeah. Don't. And me and Dubs, we were choosing not even to speak on it. We already seen it. We were like, man, we don't even want to talk about that. But the way the internet works and the way people are, especially on YouTube, they love drama and controversy. We were in a no-win situation. Really. If we stood silent and chose not to speak on it, you're condoning it. If we did, if you didn't hear exactly what you wanted to hear, then the fact of the matter is life ain't perfect. You're not going to hear everything you want to hear. But that don't think ever that I condone any misappropriate behavior, because I don't. And I don't give a fuck who it's by. That's just it. That's me personally.
Absolutely.
Straight up. Daniel Sandoval, what's happening with it? At the same time, another thing I also don't condone is utilizing someone's children to slander them. I don't agree with that either. I think that's fucking as low as you can go. You don't play with anyone else's kids, man. Period. Right or wrong, no matter who what it's about, you don't do that, man. And it's just be the adult in the situation, man.
442 Tony. My question is, what's the obsession with Wes Watson? Nobody's obsessed. Do you have a channel, Big Dog? I would click on it. Do you have a channel? Do you make content? Do you make content that gets views or content that doesn't get views? Because guess what? If you make content that doesn't get views, you don't have a channel and you won't go anywhere on YouTube. As content creators, we put out content, and when our subscribers and people in general watch it, that's telling us make more of that, and so we do. It's pretty simple. It's an easy recipe to be successful on YouTube. You put out what the people want to watch.
Yeah, it's there's not a vendetta, there's not an ounce of hate or envy,
No,
or any of that. It's a popular trend, just like the kids that are watching the trends, right? It's a popular trend. People love laughing. You know, a smile is universal. Laughter is universal. And this is someone who has made himself into a caricature with lies and deceit. And why not be the ones to laugh at them, but not with them, right? And it does views, and it's good monetarily, and there's just a lot of more benefits to it. And at the end of the day, he would know just like anyone else. Hey, it's just fun and games, bro. We've never once called him a weirdo. We never once called him a sex offender. We've never once called him any of that. I've only said what Wes Watson does: stick things in his ass. He said it himself. I've only told his truths.
No, and it's funny because it's extremely rare for me to do anything on Wes on the big channel. I do all that on my reaction channel. And so when people trip, like, man, you can't come up with your own content. I'm like, you're watching a reaction channel, big dog. I react to content just like everyone else who has a reaction channel. We're reacting to other people's content. But on my big channel and on my baby channel, that's all original content. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's just how it is. Let me see. Yeah, I ain't on that weird shit.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, just we're talking about Joe. It's good entertainment. I come here for Wes Watson.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And it's entertainment.
Or two, Tony. That's all it is. It's if people didn't watch, homie, I promise you there would never be another Wes Watson. They ask for once a week, so they get Wes Watson Wednesday because his name starts with a W. If his name would have been Tony, it would have been Tony Tuesdays.
Yeah. Shit. You know, at the end of the day, man, the people that don't understand it, you probably never will. You know, one thing I've learned about content creation, about YouTube especially, is if you like someone or you like the content, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. The people that kind of confuse me, and I'm a little like confused or confuzzled when I see it, is people that will support you, and then the moment you say something they don't agree with, oh, you're all kinds of pieces of shits, and they hate you, and they're unsubscribing, and they let you know it. It's like, damn, bro, you've watched me for 3 years and supported the shit out of me, and all of a sudden we don't agree on something, and instead of agreeing to disagree, you're just gonna fall off like that. I see you later. Boom. It's not gonna hurt me, right? But it does make me think, like, wow, what type of person are you, bro?
It's like Moco 113. What are the facts, Holmes? So if you ask somebody for an ID and they give you an ID and it turns out that's a fake ID, that's irrelevant. I'm not justifying a damn thing. But what facts are you talking about? Do you omit facts? Just curious, eh? I mean, with the way some of these vatos are acting, these perfect ass human beings, no dude, according to them, should ever date a hyena they didn't grow up with because you don't know her background, you don't know who she is, and there's a risk. And according to Moco 113, if you take a risk and you're wrong, Holmes, then fuck you. That's a cool way to live. That's a really cool way to live. It would be different if it was something that was ongoing and somebody knew. I'm not going to get into that whole thing again, but that just is a trip to me.
I'll say this. In my situation doing my video, I said, I don't know how much I could fucking say it over and over again. I don't condone that. I never will associate myself with that. At the same time, the type of person I am now, I want to be part of the solution and not the problem, right? So the way I see it being part of the solution is staying the fuck up out of it because it's not my business, and not speaking on it and not going in on someone, regardless if he's guilty or not. I don't give a fuck, bro. It has nothing to do with me. And it's not going to change my day tomorrow, right? And that's that. It doesn't mean I'm fucking backing no one. I said straight up, man, you're not going to see me fucking out there drinking a milkshake with anyone that's, done that. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and kick a man when he's down. I'm just going to let him fucking do what he does. You make your bed, you lay in it, man. Straight up. That's it. You know, I mean, it's like you want motherfuckers you love the drama, bro. There's a channel. You can go over there, man. You're going to hear a lot of it. It's not going to be right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, I agree to disagree with both
Hey,
of you a
Jose.
lot. Not everything you vaulters are hella fire and entertaining. Thank you, Jose. And exactly, and you know what? I appreciate people like you. There's a guy in here, man. I want to give him a lot of respect. East Side boyfriend, right?
The
We
antagonizer.
disagree on 99% of the shit, right? That we talk about.
He's right
But
here.
he's
We
always kept it
consider him a homie.
respectful.
Yeah.
He's a homie.
He
You know,
fucking,
we can.
he fucking
Yeah.
irritates me sometimes, but
He gets Dubs all riled up, right? That wrinkle in the middle of Dub's face is from him. That Vato guy did that. That's all him, right? He irritates Dubs, but at the same time, one thing he does do is he knows how to pull back when it's becoming a little bit
yeah. Mm-hmm.
When the disagreement gets a little out of hand, you know, and that's just being respect. At the end of the day, we're all men, right? And we got to respect each other and carry ourselves with that type of with them type of shoulders, homie. You know, so when it involves someone else, and I know that there's plenty of people could say, well, you talk about this, you talk about that. Like I said, man, I'm gonna talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, and I'm not gonna talk about what I don't want to talk about. And that's just the way it is. You watch it or you don't, man. I appreciate if you do, because you're gonna get a whole bunch of game, real life. Let's look at what Roscoe says, because I agree with a lot of this. Fact is, some are aggressively pushing this for reasons that have nothing to do with the young mom, innocent kids, or moral compass.
Absolutely.
That's not a good one. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree on that. People have agendas.
By the way, he did a video. I haven't seen it yet. He did a video on the topic. Go and check it out. Subscribe to his channel.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, make sure you guys tap in with Rascal's channel, man. He did a good video. And everyone has their own perspective. That's the great thing about this YouTube content creation, is that we all can talk about the same topic and have 3 different perspectives of it. And that's the truth. You know, we get a lot of hate. Oh, Gunner, you copy Dubs. What he's talking about. Dubs, you copy Gunner. Now we're like I said, we're always in the same book, maybe a different page, but the same book,
yeah,
right?
But not only that, a lot of us do the same content, but we don't all see it the same way. And that's what's fun about it. You know, we all have a different perspective. We don't have the same perspective on it. Could be the same topic, different perspectives.
Yeah, no, I agree. Guns is right. People have agendas. My agenda is to stay respectful and polite, so I have a cool life to hang out with. And that's the thing, bro. You know, we can get a little controversial. We can get a little caught up in our feelings. We can do all that. We're human, right? But at the end of the day, as long as we do it with respect, you know, respect has always been key in my household as a kid, in the youth authority, in prison, at work, raising my children. Respect is the number one word, because if you don't have that, you don't have shit, right? So there's a level of respect here, man, that we like to keep, and we have the right to disagree with anything. Anyways, we're going to get up out of here, man. We are going to get up out of here. Thank you guys so much. For those that know what we do when we do it, we're going to get into a music live here in a minute, man. Come jump in, bump some music with us, show some support, man. And it's all good in the hood. Thank you guys so much, man. Thank you for the topic.
All right, you guys. Thank you.